Hello and welcome to the MLB pregame show here on the Coliseum Sports Network. I'm Raymond Sims and I'm here to bring you this Eastern Regional Championship matchup between the Detroit Tigers and the Chicago Cubs from Wrigley Field. The 8th-seeded Cubs come out of the winner's bracket here in the Eastern region and need just one win to advance to the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series, where they will face the Houston Astros in a best-of-5 series. For the Tigers to advance, they will have to beat the Cubs twice here in Chicago. The Cubs and Tigers met in Detroit to kick off this tournament, with the Cubs getting the 5-4 win after plating 4 runs in the top of the ninth. The Tigers will look for revenge here, but will have to do it on the road as they play their first away game of the tournament. The pitching matchup today has Kyle Hendricks for the Cubs taking on Detroit's Max Scherzer. Scherzer was the starter in the last Tigers-Cubs matchup. However, he ended up with a no decision when the bullpen was unable to close out the game. Here's the lineups for both sides. First for the Tigers, leading off will be the center fielder, Rajai Davis. Batting second will be the second baseman, Ian Kinsler. Batting third will be the first baseman, Miguel Cabrera. Batting fourth will be the right fielder, Torrey Hunter. Batting fifth will be the left fielder, J.D. Martinez. Batting sixth will be the third baseman, Nick Castellanos. Batting seventh will be the catcher, Alex Avila. Batting eighth will be the shortstop, Eugenio Suarez. And batting ninth will be the starting pitcher, Max Scherzer. For the Cubs, leading off will be the left fielder, Chris Coghlan. Batting second will be the second baseman, Javier Baez. Batting third will be the first baseman, Anthony Rizzo. Batting fourth will be the shortstop, Starlin Castro. Batting fifth will be the third baseman, Luis Valbuena. Batting sixth will be the center fielder, Arizmendi Alcantara. Batting seventh will be the right fielder, Justin Ruggiano. Batting eighth will be the catcher, Wellington Castillo. And batting ninth will be the starting pitcher, Kyle Hendricks. Before we head out to the north side, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Coliseum Sports Network here on YouTube for all of the best fictional sports action. Also, be sure to check out the official website, simscoliseum.com, as well as the Sims Coliseum social media channels on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. It's going to be a cool, partly cloudy evening in Chicago, but the stakes are high. The Eastern Regional Championship of the Coliseum Baseball Tournament begins shortly on the Coliseum Sports Network. Hello and welcome to the north side, Wrigleyville, Chicago, for this Eastern Regional Championship matchup between the Detroit Tigers and the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs need one win and they're into the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series. The Tigers will need to take 2 here in Chicago. The Cubs faithful excited. This is the first Cubs home game of the Coliseum Baseball Tournament. They earned it. They worked their way through the winner's bracket. Now get home field advantage in the championship game. They'll be taking on the Tigers, who will have this starting lineup: Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera due up here in the top of the first inning. They will be going against Kyle Hendricks. He's the number 4 starter here for the Chicago Cubs. He comes in 4-1 with a 1.73 ERA, 26 strikeouts, and 9 walks to his name, with a whip of 1.008. So leading off will be Rajai Davis, as the Tigers are going to look to do the seemingly impossible of taking 2 wins on the road. First pitch from Hendricks in there for a strike. Rajai Davis, as we've discussed in other games, became the everyday center fielder with the departure of Austin Jackson off to Seattle. Jackson actually was pretty useful to the Mariners here in the tournament, but they ended up being eliminated by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Detroit looking to not be eliminated themselves. They've played, coming into today, they've played more games than any other team in the tournament. They played 5, coming in with a 4-1 record. Tigers pop this, or Davis pops this one up in the air. Ruggiano under it for out number 1. So the Tigers get out number 1 here, leading off. Ruggiano getting the start here in right field, able to make an easy play of it. Here's second baseman Ian Kinsler, 2-time player of the game. He's been very useful to these Tigers in this daunting tournament run for them. Cut fastball outside for strike 1. Kyle Hendricks has made 6 starts for the Cubs in what is his rookie season. He debuted on July 10th. Born in Newport Beach, went to high school in nearby Mission Viejo. He's an Orange County kid, but an Ivy Leaguer as well. He went to school at Dartmouth. Hendricks gets Kinsler to pop up to center. That'll be out number 2. So Hendricks has passed the test of the first 2 Tigers batters. Both quite daunting in their own right, but none more daunting than Miguel Cabrera. First pitch, a changeup, inner half of the plate for strike 1. Detroit ended up here in Chicago as they beat out the Milwaukee Brewers. Beat them 6-3 at Comerica. Cabrera went 3 for 4 with 3 singles and an RBI. He's behind in the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hendricks is going to look to retire the side in 3 straight batters. Here's the 1-2. Try the 1-2 again. Cabrera reaches for both 1-2 pitches. He was able to stay alive by fouling them off. In the regular season, Cabrera is only hitting .309. He'll go down here on strikes. That only, by the way, was in air quotes. But Hendricks takes care of business here in the top of the first inning. So just like that, the Cubs will get their first chance on offense. It's scoreless. Welcome back to the north side of Chicago. It's the first time that the Cubs will be batting second in an inning. And it'll be Coghlan, Baez, and Rizzo stepping up to the plate here in this inning. They'll be taking on a familiar face, Max Scherzer, who got a no decision in the first game of this tournament against these Cubs. Scherzer had a pretty good game. It was the bullpen that did in the Tigers. Gave them their only loss of the tournament so far. If we look at the defensive lineup, that would be helping out Max Scherzer. Same as it's ever been. Except in this case, no designated hitter here. Victor Martinez is most likely going to have the day off unless they choose to switch him out at some point. Pinch hitting or double switch situation. Here's Chris Coghlan to lead off the bottom of the first for the Cubs. Fouls off the first pitch. Cubs finally get their chance to wear those home pinstripe uniforms and get to play within the friendly confines. I'm sure a lot of Cubs fans who have traveled well for the Cubs throughout the tournament are very happy with that. Some of the highest attendance numbers we've seen in this tournament have been Cubs road games. For instance, the game in Toronto, there was a lot of blue. A fair amount of it was Cubby blue. Coughlin hits this one down the third base line, rounded up by Castellanos. And that's out number 1. Here's a look at the dimensions here at Wrigley Field. Might not be easy to hit it down the power alleys, but that 400 is straight away. Tends to be shorter than what we've seen in other parts. For instance, in Houston, what we saw in the first half of this West-East doubleheader. Astros, the 8th seed, getting the win, 4-1 over the Angels. Seemed like slight work. We'll see if the same thing happens here with the Cubs. The Cubs have a daunting task as Javier Baez takes a strike. They have Max Scherzer today, and if the Tigers win, they'll have David Price up next. Swing and a miss by Baez on the fastball, 0-2 count. Slider outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Baez went 1 for 3. The Cubs' last game, which was up in Milwaukee. This one dribbled to short. And Suarez able to complete the putout for out number 2. So here's the first baseman, Anthony Rizzo. First pitch from Scherzer, he hits, rounded up by Kinsler. Easy out at first. And that'll do it for the first inning. 6 up, 6 down in the entire first inning. We'll see if something can happen in the second. Scoreless from Chicago. Brad Ausmus chose to make a slight change to his lineup coming into this game here in this NL Park as he moved up Torrey Hunter. He'll lead off the second inning. First pitch to him, a 4-seamer at the knees for ball 1. Weak swing by Hunter, probably was looking to bunt. But Hendricks able to chase it down and tag Hunter on the first base line for out number 1. We'll look at it again here. Yeah, it was a check swing is what it was. Bit of an excuse me swing, and Hunter knew he had to run it out, but he pays for it down the line, literally. So 1 out, and here's J.D. Martinez. No Victor to be found today. No designated hitter necessary. Victor may come in a double switch or pinch hitting role. But otherwise, he's going to have the day off. Will he have the rest of the tournament off is the question. Can the Tigers pull out 2 in Chicago? That's the question. Look at all the metrics, and you see the Tigers as the dominant team. Yet you see what happened out west, an 8 seed, ended up taking it all without a problem. Can the Cubs do the same here? 1 ball, 1 strike to J.D. He fouls that one off. Martinez went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He takes a changeup, but he did bring in an RBI on one of his groundouts. So there's that. In the game against the Marlins, though, which was a trouncing by all accounts, J.D. Martinez was able to hit a home run. No home run here. He hits this right to Rizzo for out number 2. So a 1 unassisted and a 3 unassisted. We have 2 outs for third baseman Nick Castellanos. Castellanos had a double in that Marlins game. He had a home run in the game against Milwaukee. Home run went down the right field line and wrapped just around the foul pole. The umpires had to have a discussion about it, but in the end, they did call it a home run. Two-run shot. This one hit to Baez, able to make the out at first. It's another 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll see if Scherzer still has it working. At the bottom of the second. Number 4 hitter Starlin Castro leading off the bottom of the second inning. We'll take a slider at the belt for strike 1. Castro went 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a walk against Milwaukee. Check swing, appeal to first. I was going to say he went. So he's not happy with that one, he's already in the hole 0-2. Scherzer got the first 3 batters in the lineup for the Cubs to ground out. Castro does not want a K on his record. Here comes the 0-2. Fouls it off and stays alive. Another one fouled off here. Castro 286 on the season, 12 homers, 63 RBIs. Hits this one, bounces off the mound, collected by Kinsler. He's able to make the throw to first for out number 1. 4 consecutive groundouts for the Chicago Cubs. They are hitless through 4 batters. Here is Luis Valbuena. Stepping up to the plate, 218 in 2013. 233 in 2014. So a bit of an improvement. He has been solid there at third base defensively for the Chicago Cubs. See what he can bring here to the plate against Scherzer. Take the 0-1, a 2-seamer for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Valbuena. Curveball sails high for ball 1. Valbuena, last time they faced Scherzer, was way down at 8 in the lineup. Finished the day 0 for 4 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Swing and a miss on the 2-seamer, and there's another K right there. So after 4 straight groundouts for Max Scherzer and the Tigers, Scherzer's able to collect his first strikeout of the game. And here comes the center fielder, Arizmendi Alcantara. Four-seamer right down Broadway for strike 1. 212 on the young season for Alcantara. He's played 32 games since being called up about a month ago. 3 homers, 12 RBIs. Going to look to reach base here. Take a slider. Contra batted ninth in the Detroit game, and in this last one against the Brewers, he batted sixth, where he is now. This one put in play weakly, collected by Kinsler, and he makes another great play to close out the inning. So just like the Tigers, the Cubs go 6 up and 6 down early on here. So it looks like it's going to be one of those games. Can Kyle Hendricks keep the momentum going? We're hitless and scoreless in Chicago. Raymond Sims bringing you action from Chicago. So nice of you to join me here for the Eastern Regional Championship of the Coliseum Baseball Tournament. It's been quite a ride, to be certain. And it seems it's all come full circle. First pitch to Avila on the check swing. It's a strike. We started off with Tigers and Cubs. And it seems that we will end regional play with the Tigers and the Cubs, since the Astros and Angels don't need an extra game. Here's the 0-1 to Avila. Fouls it back. No balls and 2 strikes to Alex Avila. Takes the changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hendricks, like Scherzer, has retired his first 6 batters he's faced and has a strikeout to his name. Gonna look for number 7 here in this pitching duel. Usually when you hear about pitching duels, you think about when it's pitcher versus batter and the batter is able to run up the count and run up a bunch of pitches. But in this case, it seems like it's Hendricks versus Scherzer early on. Swing and a miss on the curveball, and Avila is down swinging for out number 1. For a young guy, Kyle Hendricks is not having any problems early on, not feeling any pressure against the mighty Detroit Tigers. Here's Eugenio Suarez. He'll bat 8th today, only because the pitcher's batting 9th. First pitch. First ball in there for strike 1. Eugenio Suarez has been getting the call at shortstop throughout the tournament for Detroit. Brett Austin has told me that he tends to consider putting in Andrew Romine just to spell Suarez. They usually platoons. This one's hit down the first base side. Rizzo's able to get out number 2. But Osmus feels that Suarez has just done so well out in the field. He thinks that Suarez should just keep going. Osmus is basically saying he's trying to just keep the hot hand. No hot hand there as he grounds out to first. We'll see what he does moving forward. In the meantime, here's the pitcher, Max Scherzer. First Tiger pitcher to step up to the plate. If my understanding is correctly in this entire series. And it is, because the Tigers have played all home games in their AL park, so now they're in an NL park, and things are a little bit different here. 1 ball, 1 strike to Max Scherzer. It's always interesting to see how pitchers will attack fellow pitchers when they step up to the plate. One of the many interesting things about having pitchers bat the old-fashioned way in the National League and on National League home games. Two-one with 2 outs. And Scherzer puts this one in play. And there it is, first hit of the game by the pitcher, a single with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. So break up the no-hitter, at least for Kyle Hendricks. The man on first still has his. We'll see if he can keep it once he steps up to the mound. But for now, it took 9 batters for the Tigers to finally get a hit. Will more follow? We'll find out with Rajai Davis. He flew out to lead off the game. Four-seamer at the knees for ball one. The Tigers actually aren't too far removed from playing in an NL Park. They just had a 2-game series against the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Then on the home and home side, they'll host Pittsburgh for 2 games. Already played one and got the win 8-4. They have another one scheduled. So it wasn't so long ago that the Tigers were playing in an NL Park. However, Scherzer wasn't starting. This one put in play by Davis. That's 2 straight hits given up. And now Hendricks is suddenly having trouble getting out of the inning. So another 2-out single. Rajai Davis gets on. And here's Ian Kinsler. Ian Kinsler has been troubled throughout this tournament. He's been more so daunting even than Miguel Cabrera, who you would expect to be the most dangerous player on the team. Mind you, Cabrera is always a threat, but Kinsler really had a great tournament. The 1-0. Fastball outside, ball 2. Hendricks just looking for that 1 out to get out of the inning. He's given up 2 hits, with Scherzer at scoring position, wearing a jacket now, trying to keep cool. It's a cool evening here in Chicago. Hendricks already in trouble here. 3 balls and no strike. The 3-0. Kinsler swings. That was there in the zone right down Broadway. So Kinsler smart for it, just a little too early on the swing. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Kinsler. That one low, Kinsler chases, and that's strike 2. So now the count is full. Hendricks trying to get out of a 2-base jam. Here's the pitch. Everybody going. This one hit into play. Rounded up by Castro, and he just needs 1 out. He'll get it at first. What a play by Starlin Castro to save the inning. So 2 hits and nothing more. Still scoreless heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Right fielder Justin Ruggiano stepping up to the plate to lead off the 3rd inning. Scherzer still has his no-hitter after breaking up Kyle Hendricks' no-hitter back in the top of the 3rd. First pitch from Scherzer. Change up outer half for strike 1. Ruggiano starting in place for Ryan Sweeney. Talked with Rick Renteria. He said you really can't go wrong with either one. Ruggiano fouls that one off. Ruggiano's last game was against Toronto. This one hit or lined out to 3rd. Thought it bounced. It did not. So that's out number 1. The no-hitter still intact. Take a look at it here on replay. Castellanos able to get the backhand glove right under him. So here's Wellington Castillo. Going to see if he'll be the one to break the no-hitter. But Scherzer, good pace here. 7 men up, 7 men down to lead off the game. One ball, no strike to Wellington Castillo. Strike in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 fouled back, and now Castillo's behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Takes the slider outside, and he's better for it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Castillo batting .237 so far on the regular season. 8 home runs, 32 RBIs. That comes with 15 doubles. Fouls that one up and back. So the batting average isn't anything to write home about. See if he can raise up his tournament average here. Well, not on that pitch. That's a slider outside, runs the count full. Regardless of what happens to Castillo, Hendricks is due up next, and I'm sure that Hendricks is going to love to get revenge on Scherzer. Here's the payoff pitch. Castillo puts this one in play, sails out to left. Playable, and the out made by J.D. Martinez for out number 2. Now we come to a situation that we already saw back in the top of the third happen to the man at the plate, Kyle Hendricks. Saw 8 batters, retired 8 batters. The 9th one, the pitcher, is the one to get the first hit. Can Hendricks return the favor? It'll be a hitless 3 innings for the Cubs. Hendricks swings defensively and fouls off the 0-2. Four-seamer in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To see the Cubs run up to this point, and the fact that they haven't lost a game is amazing, as the Cubs in the regular season are 28th in baseball with a .238 batting average. I haven't quite crunched all the numbers yet from all of the currently 27 completed tournament games, but I can assure you that the Cubs are batting much higher than .238. Hendricks reaches on the changeup, and he is retired swinging. So through 3, Scherzer not allowed a hit. It's still 0-0 from the north side. Miguel Cabrera back up at the plate to lead off the 4th inning. Kyle Hendricks, the rookie from Dartmouth, gave up his first hit to Max Scherzer back in the 3rd, seemed rattled, and subsequently gave up a hit to Rajai Davis. Cabrera smacks this one on the first pitch, and Ruggiano was under it for out number 1. So the Tigers are looking to get more aggressive on the swings here, it seems. Torrey Hunter will be charged with getting the job done here now with 1 out in the top of the 4th. He grounded out down the line. The pitcher was able to pick it up and tag him out back in the 2nd inning. Four-seamer sails high, 2 balls and no strikes. Coming into today, the Tigers have scored the most runs of any team in the tournament with 27. second place in the Eastern region are these very Cubs who scored 20. And coming into today, they were tied with the Angels at 20. The Angels only picked up 1 run in that loss to the Astros, so they finished their tournament with 21. Another unassisted out that Torrey Hunter grounds into. That'll bring up J.D. Martinez with the bases empty and 2 out here in the top of the 4th. First pitch is a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. And Martinez hits this one right back at Hendricks, deflects off of him, and yet Castro's able to still round it up and make the out. That's 1-6-3. Hendricks seems okay, so we're still scoreless heading into the bottom of the 4th. Leadoff hitter Chris Conklin will start off the 4th. When something like that happens, you know you got something amazing happening up at the mound. Conklin commenced festivities for the Cubs with a ground out to third base. It was the beginning of 4 consecutive groundouts for the Cubs. No hits, nobody on base. We got a perfect game through 3 for Max Scherzer. If it isn't already evident, I don't believe in the announcer jinx. Ball, 1 strike. This one popped up in the air. Davis looks like he'll be the run to round it up, and he does, just in front of the warning track for out number 1. So here's Javier Baez. He grounded out to short back in the 1st inning. First pitch popped up. Gonna be a souvenir for the fans. Another one fouled back. This one down the line, also foul, landing in the Tigers bullpen. Baez 245 on the season with 4 home runs and 7 RBIs, and each one of those 4 home runs sent Cubs fans in a frenzy. He's a very highly touted prospect in all baseball circles, not just in Cubs fandom. He has finally arrived, and so far he's lived up to expectations. Cubs just looking for their first hit here. Haven't been able to get one through 3 1/3. Max Scherzer, the former Mizzou Tiger, doing work here on the north side. As I said back in earlier innings, if the Cubs don't win this game, it's not going to get any easier, as David Price is the probable in that decisive Game 2 of the championship game here in the Eastern region. 2-2 count to Javier Baez. That one fouled off. So this one turning into a batter-pitcher duel. Scherzer getting up towards 50 pitches. Check swing. That'll do in Baez. Baez shows some effort against the mighty Max Scherzer, but gets nothing for his troubles. Here's Anthony Rizzo. He grounded to second. First time up way back in the 1st inning. Curveball drops in at the feet. 1 ball and no strikes. This one fouled off way in the air, and Castellanos is under it. So make that 4 innings of hitless ball for the Cubs. And we head into the top of the 5th. Nick Castellanos leading off the top of the 5th inning. Kyle Hendricks has given up 2 hits. Castro runs out into shallow left center. It will remain 2 hits. As Castellanos swings on the first pitch and ends up with out number 1. But those 2 hits from the Tigers, those are the only hits in this entire game. There have been no runs between the teams. There have been no errors between the teams. There have only been 2 base runners. They were both stranded back in the 3rd. Here's Alex Avila. He'll hit the first pitch he sees, and Castro is able to block it from going into the outfield. But Avila looks to be on with a base hit. Look at it again here. Avila gets a piece of it. That one looked like it was packaged for Alcantara, but Castro seems to have stopped it. See if the scorer will consider that a base hit or an error on Castro. I'd say it's a base hit. I don't think Castro would have been able to make the play normally. I mean, Avila, not the fastest guy, but he might have been able to leg that out. And it will be a base hit. 3rd hit given up by Kyle Hendricks on the day, but he still hasn't given up a run. Here's Eugenio Suarez. He'll swing at the first pitch, and he'll foul it off. So as I said before, because it seems like it's starting to happen now, at least with the 4th inning, ever since Scherzer got that hit, the Tigers are getting more aggressive up at the plate. Considering the way that Hendricks and Scherzer are pitching, especially Scherzer, this might end up actually being one of those games where you only need a run or 2. And those have not been very common here in the Coliseum tournament. The 1-1. Suarez will take it, a changeup for ball 2. And it's just interesting to see how many runs have been scored in this entire tournament. Especially considering that we are, by all objective measures, in an era where offense is down. Hit and run here as this one will roll into right field, so Avila is going to get extra bases. He's going to get into 3rd standing up on the single by Eugenio Suarez. Red Ausmus and the Tigers looking to get aggressive here against the Cubs. Trying to get the win. They don't want to be snake bitten like they were in that first game of the tournament. Max Scherzer back up at the plate. He got the first hit. Going to be looking for another one to bring the runner home from 3rd. 1 out, 2 on in the top of the 5th. Still scoreless in Chicago, but for how much longer? The pitch from Hendricks is a 4-seamer. Right over the plate for strike 1. Scherzer fouls this one off. In 2014, he's only made 4 plate appearances. 2 of those were official at-bats. So you have to collect a hit and got a strikeout, Max Scherzer. So this hit is miles above the expectations that you would expect out of him, judging by his stat line. 1-2 inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scherzer's able to get on. But regardless of what happens, Davis will be next up. Scherzer tied up. Strikes out swinging for out number 2. So Hendricks holds off Avila at third, at least for now. Can he do it again to close out the inning against Rajai Davis? Rajai Davis got a single back in the third. It was the second hit for the Tigers. He's a center fielder. He's more likely to get a hit than, say, the pitcher Scherzer. Davis hitting very well on the regular season, .290. 6 home runs, 38 RBIs, and 22 doubles. Even legged out a couple of triples on the season. Already in the hole, though. No balls, 2 strikes, and there's Avila. He's waiting to come home with just the right hit. It's going to need to be something into the outfield. Find some green grass, because chances are, if it's in the infield, Castro won't have a problem rounding it up. See, right here, for instance. Force play at second closes out the inning. 2 more runners stranded for the Tigers. We head into the bottom of the 5th. Still scoreless. Halfway home. Who's going to break the tie here on the Coliseum Sports Network? Starlin Castro fouls off the first pitch of the bottom of the 5th inning. We're halfway home here, but it is scoreless here on the north side of Chicago. Night is starting to fall, partly cloudy skies. It's kind of on the cool side. Castro's already in an 0-2 hole. Scherzer throws a waste pitch there. Can't get Castro to chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another 4-seamer just below the knees. Ball 2. Cubs just have not been able to find the bat against Scherzer. Castro sails this one into center field, but Davis should be under it. He's able to make the routine play for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. That is 13 consecutive retired for Max Scherzer. Here's Luis Valbuena up at the plate. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. Scherzer has a total of 3 strikeouts in this entire game, and so does Hendricks. Balls in 1 strike. The 0-1. Thinks bunt, but just a little too late. Strike 2. Ollie won't be bunting here. Anything's possible. This one over the glove of Cabrera, and there it is. First hit of the game. 5 1/3 of an inning in, or 4 1/3 of an inning in. And the no-hitter is broken up by Luis Valbuena. While you can take the banners back to the party store, the question is, can the Cubs turn this into anything? 4-seamer sails inside for ball 1. Scherzer at 60 pitches. Considering he's only given up 1 hit, I figure it's an understatement to say that he's been efficient. Slider. Breaks just below the belt, but outside for ball 2. Scherzer looks like he's trying to get Alcantara to chase something. See if through the remainder of the at-bat if Scherzer's going to try to throw some low pitches to get Alcantara to ground out. Nope, this one's not low, but it will sail high, and it looks playable for Martinez. So there's out number 2. Meanwhile, Valbuena stuck at first, had to retreat. Here's a look at the line score. Zeros everywhere, but in the hit column now. Tigers have picked up 4, but haven't had anything to show for it. The Cubs just getting their first one 2 batters ago. Here's Justin Ruggiano. He hit a home run in Toronto. A pretty good day for him. But got the day off at Milwaukee. Ryan Sweeney started in his place. Looks like in a game like this, a bat will be very important. Sweeney's very good with contact, but Ruggiano pretty balanced with both the contact and the power. See if he can utilize that here as he has a runner on first with 2 out. We're outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Max Scherzer hoping he can get a decision here against the Cubs and hopes it ends in a W. Ruggiano dekes at the pitch. Takes it, 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Justin Ruggiano with Valbuena on first. Inning stays alive for at least another pitch, 2-2. Scherzer now at 66 pitches. Ruggiano fouls that one off. Pickoff attempt, and that one overthrown. Take a look at it again. Scherzer, a little too excited, throws it a bit too high. I suppose you could call that an incomplete pass. Pass intended for Miguel Cabrera. I'm going to start using football lingo. This one put in play. And that one would be an easy out for Kinsler. He's been making great plays all evening, but he misses that one. So Valbuena advances to second on the E1. And it seems he will advance to third on the E4. And that's how Ruggiano will reach. And so all of a sudden, with 2 outs, the Cubs now have 2 runners, 1 on first, 1 on third. And Wellington Castillo, who flew out to left back in the third, has an opportunity to bring in a run for the Cubs. It's funny how baseball works out sometimes. Fouls off another breaking ball. So now he's in the hole 0-2. Can Castillo work his way back into the count? Will it be 2 runners squandered? It's a pitch inside and holds off, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another 2-seamer inside. Two consecutive errors have put the Tigers in an unenviable position. But it looks like everything's going to be all right for the Tigers. They're able to get the 3rd out at second. So after 5, still scoreless from Chicago. Ian Kinsler committed an error back in the bottom of the 5th. They look to make things right here in the top of the 6th. Swing at the first pitch. Kinsler gets this one up in the air. Alcantara chasing it down and got it. There's out number one. Miguel Cabrera back up at the plate, struck out his first time up, flew out his second time up. What will he do here in the top of the sixth inning? Swing a little early there for Miguel. That one sails into the stands. Wrigley Field packed for this championship game. It's a whole lot of Covey blue. The occasional Tiger fan. 2-1 count. This one drops foul. Here's the 2-2. Four-seamer high, and the count is now full to Miguel Cabrera. Three balls, two strikes with one out. Base is empty here for Miguel. He fouls one off. Cabrera actually hit a home run back in the first game against the Cubs, but he hasn't gone yards since. Here's another payoff pitch. That one high. And there's the first walk thrown by Kyle Hendricks. So now Hendricks is starting to regress to the mean. After an amazing first 4 innings, he only gave up 2 hits. That's about it. Cabrera is going for it on second. That one gets past the glove of Rizzo. Cabrera is going to look for extra bases, just like we saw back in the 5th inning. Cabrera was able to stretch it out and get to third without much of a problem. So the Tigers in a much better position here to bring home a run. What has been an intense defensive battle up to this point. First pitch, a changeup below the zone for ball 1. That changeup, that one's in the zone for strike 1. Martinez slaps that one foul. Here's the 1-2 to JD. Bounce off another one. Cubs have action in the bullpen. Neil Ramirez waiting in tow in case things get sideways for Hendricks. A high pitch fouled off. Another one fouled off. So we got a duel here in Chicago. JD Martinez looking to bring home a Tiger. To finally put a run on the board. That's Cabrera at third, Hunter at first with 1 out. in the top of the 6th. Well, look out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one drops in the dirt. Throw to first just in case Hunter was too far off. He was not. So a full count here. And Hendricks puts that one in the zone for Martinez. Serve that a 3-bagger. That's a home run for J.D. Martinez. And the Tigers get on the board in style. It's now 3-0 in favor of Detroit. Hendricks, in his defense, had to put a strike there in the zone. Did not want to walk another batter and walk the bases loaded. But he made it too easy for J.D. He gets his 2nd home run of the Coliseum tournament. So that'll do it for Kyle Hendricks. Finishes the day, gives up 3 runs on 5 hits. 6 hits, rather. That'll bring up Neil Ramirez, who will be tasked with retiring 2 more batters and closing out the inning. First batter Ramirez will face is Nick Castellanos. Neil Ramirez, 1-1 record, 1.21 ERA. Gets Castellanos to go for it on the curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's made 35 appearances, has Ramirez. And he's finished 10 games. Even got 3 saves out of the deal. This one hit weakly, it's fair, and Rizzo will just wait for Castellanos to come down the line and tag him out. So there's out number 2. Took a few batters, but the Cubs get it. Took a few batters, took a few runs. That'll bring up Alex Avila. Strikeout and a single. Made it all the way to 3rd and just couldn't come home. 2 outs, bases empty. 4-seamer inside for ball 1. Change up in there, 2 balls and 1 strike. And Avila swings and misses on the curve. Ramirez made his debut back in late April of this season. So like Hendricks, he is a rookie. He's able to close out the inning with a backwards K. That's the second strikeout for Avila. JD Martinez hits a 3-run home run, and that finally puts someone on the board. Can the Cubs respond in the bottom of the 6th?
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the Cubs, number 6, Ryan Sweeney.
Just after getting the final 2 outs, Neil Ramirez will not come up to the plate. Not much of a surprise there. Ryan Sweeney will come in to pinch hit in the number 9 spot. So we'll see a new pitcher in the top of the 7th. Two-seamer down in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. So while Hendricks' day is done, Scherzer still keeping it going through 5 innings. He's only given up 1 hit. But then again, it's this sort of dominance that's not a surprise. He only gave up 1 run back in the first game against the Cubs. The problem came when the bullpen had to close things out. Three balls, 2 strikes here to Ryan Sweeney. Sweeney comes in to pinch hit. He will draw a walk. So now we're back to our regularly scheduled lineup. Here's Chris Coghlan. Al Albuquerque currently in the bullpen. But Scherzer might be showing some signs of fatigue. Might. Curveball in there for strike 1. This one sails foul. This one hit weakly. Castellanos will try to get the double play going, and he can't. They'll only get the out at second. So the Tigers able to get 1 out of the deal, but there's still a runner on first for Javier Baez. This one in the dirt, gets past Avila, and sliding into second is Coghlan. So a wild pitch. And that's the second misstep for Max Scherzer. This one popped up in the air to center field. Davis looking to be under it at the warning track. He's got it. And staying put at second is Coghlan. Somewhat surprisingly. Baez got a good ride out of the ball, but it just wasn't far enough. Of course, at Wrigley Field, all you need is for it to catch into that basket. Just didn't do that. So here's Anthony Rizzo, 0 for 2 on the day. Seems like forever since we've seen him, but it was only in the fourth. He popped up to third base. There's one fouled back. Swing and a miss on the slider. No balls and 2 strikes. Four-seamer outside for ball 1. The 1-2. Slider low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Rizzo fouls this one off. Swing and a miss, and Anthony Rizzo swings out of his shoes for out number 3. So Cubs are still scoreless, and the Tigers are ahead 3-0 heading into the top of the 7th. We're heading into the final third of the game. The Tigers were able to put up 3 off the J.D. Martinez home run. So the Cubs will need to get some offense together. They want a ticket to the championship series. Jacob Turner is going to come into the game in relief of Neil Ramirez. First batter that Turner will face is Eugenio Suarez. Kyuji Fujikawa is in the bullpen. And Suarez swings at the first pitch, easy 6-3. So Suarez is now 1 for 3 on the day. And for the time being, Max Scherzer will stay into the game. He'll get another chance at the plate. He singled back in the 3rd and then struck out swinging in the 5th. Which one will it be here in this top of the 7th? Check swing of appeal to first, and he went. No balls and 2 strikes for Max Scherzer. And that one's fouled off. This one put in play, rounded up by Valbuena. Easy out at first. Rajai Davis, last hope here in the 7th inning. Jacob Turner looking to close out this inning without a problem. Slider in there for ball 1. Jacob Turner comes to the Cubs via waivers from the Marlins in exchange for 2 minor leaguers. Curveball, low for ball 2. Turner was actually a native of St. Louis, born in St. Charles, went to high school in the city. So he was birthed out of Cardinals territory, but here he is playing for the Cubs. Circa change, 2 balls, 1 strike. If you also notice, he's currently up in later innings, so he's found himself in the bullpen even though he was considered a starter in Miami. Davis lays down the bunt, rounded up by Turner, and a rocket of a throw to first to close out the inning. And we are in the land where they invented the 7th inning stretch, so stretch with all your might. It's 3-0 heading into the bottom of the 7th. Starlin Castro leading off the bottom of the 7th, and the Cubs are suddenly behind the 8-ball. Just need one win to get into the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series. Tigers need 2. So in terms of pitching probables and statistics, it's in the Tigers' favor. But the Cubs, I said before, they just need 1. Castro flies out to left for out number 1. Here's Luis Valbuena. He was the one to break up the Scherzer no-hitter. First ball low for ball 1. Valbuena broke it up with a single, and then he reached second on an error by Scherzer on an attempted pickoff throw. And he reached third on another error. Now he's facing a 2-0 count here against Scherzer. Wheeler's going to come out and talk with him here. Scherzer's already at 95 pitches. After a quick talk of strategy, we'll see how they take on Valbuena. 2-0 is too high. 3 balls and no strikes for Luis Valbuena. Due up next will be Alcantara, who's 0 for 2 on the day. He grounded out and he flew out. Right now, we'll see what happens with Valbuena. 3-0. Is it an automatic strike? No, it's actually in the dirt. So 4 pitches, 4 balls, and Valbuena is on with a walk with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Scherzer's at 97 pitches, but through 6 1/3, he's had a heck of a game. He's only given up 1 hit. Struck out 4. Here is the aforementioned Arizmendi Alcantara. How's that for alliteration? First pitch to Alcantara. He'll swing on and he'll foul it off. Breaking ball. Alcantara gets a little piece of it and fouls it back. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Whoa, look out there. And what a way to bring in pitch 100. 33rd ball for Scherzer. Looks like he's starting to struggle. Going to try to get this second out here, though. And he does. Gets Alcantara chasing on the changeup. Take a look at the pitches here on Show Tracks. Really just all over the place, but in the end, it's not about how you got there, it's about the result. So, very scattershot look there on the Show Track. Ends with a strikeout. That's Scherzer's 5th. And here's Justin Ruggiano. You'll have to move out of the way on a slider now. A lot of ducking and dodging by Cubs batters here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Scherzer's at 102 pitches, but Ausmus is keeping him in for now. Ruggiano is 0 for 2 today, but he did get on base in the 5th with an error. Swing and a miss. Second error by the Tigers was an E4. Kinsler misplayed a hit by Ruggiano and was not able to get him out. Ruggiano did end up being the force play victim to end the fifth, however. And the Cubs came out with no runs like they have so far into this game. Here's the 2-1. This one just down the line, just fair. But it'll only move the runners 90 feet. So Valbuena's at second. Ruggiano is on with a base hit, his first one of the game. So with 2 outs and 2 men on, here is Wellington Castillo. He is the tying run. Does the Cubs offense, an offense that is overachieved in the tournament and on the season is 28th in baseball at a .238 batting average, do they have enough in them to tie this game up at this juncture? Scherzer able to put in a strike. And all the excitement from the Cubs fans is turned to anticipation as Wrigley Field has grown very silent. Coliseum inside. Some light clapping for that ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike now to Wellington Castillo. Castillo has yet to hit a home run here in the tournament, if I recall correctly. And on the season, he has 8. This one in the air, but Davis is under it. And that is out number 3. We're just on the verge of seeing Sweeney, the pinch hitter, for a second time, too. But we won't. It's 3-0 from Chicago.
Leading off for Detroit, second baseman, Ian Kinsler.
Jacob Turner up for a second inning of duty, and the first pitch he throws is a strike to Ian Kinsler. Ian Kinsler's 0 for today, flew out to center twice, and grounded out to short another. Kinsler reaches for this one, hit weakly, and Baez has to leg it out and get the throw off in time to get Kinsler out. So through 7 innings, it was that 3-run shot by J.D. Martinez that has done the difference so far. Here's Miguel Cabrera. We had one on the inner half. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And it's going to be interesting to see how long Jacob Turner goes. Remember, he is a starting pitcher in most cases. He hasn't been since he's been in Chicago. Circle change will push Cabrera away. For instance, his stats in Miami, 4-7 record. In 12 starts, he had 20 appearances with Miami. He's had 1 with the Cubs so far, but a 5.97 ERA. So Turner can definitely go the distance. It'll be a matter of if he can stay in control and if he can keep from conceding any runs. Count tied up at 2 here against Miguel Cabrera. Kick and delivery. Cabrera weakly hits that one, collected by Rizzo, and he'll wait down the line. And that's the third time that's happened for the Cubs. They've really been on it. These balls have come down the line. Just great fielding awareness by Anthony Rizzo. He's gotten 2. And then the other one was by Kyle Hendricks, who had to come off the mound, get his tag. I believe it was. The one he tagged was Torrey Hunter. And here's Hunter at the plate. Got on with a single his last time up and came home off of the J.D. Martinez homer. Turner has come in the game and he's retired 5 straight. The first 5 batters he's faced, he's looking for 6 here. He's looking to set the table for the Cubs to attempt a comeback. Swing and a miss on the slider by Hunter. Top of the 8th, base is empty. 2 outs here. Torrey Hunter. Here's the pitch. Take a 4-seamer. 3 balls and 1 strike. Turner doesn't want that ball. He'll get another one. He's struggling here against Torrey Hunter, and it's not going to get easier. J.D. Martinez, even though he's taking on a new pitcher, may still be feeling the momentum of that home run. 3-run shot. And on 5 pitches, Jacob Turner walks Torrey Hunter. So 1 on with 2 outs. Here's J.D. Martinez as Hunter takes his base. As I'm talking about the home run, let's flash back to it. There was a no-doubter. Kyle Hendricks was in trouble in the count. He knew he had to put in a strike, and boy did he ever, as J.D. Martinez sent it in the opposite direction. Jacob Turner going to look to keep Martinez from getting on base, but that curveball veers outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Pickoff attempt at first. And Hunter is safe. Four-seamer outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. This one put in play, gets past the glove of Valbuena. And there's a base hit. Hunter advancing to second. Martinez on for his 2nd hit of the game. He has 5 total bases. So here's Nick Castellanos 0 for 3 today. Maybe a bit of relief here for Jacob Turner. He retired the first 5 batters he faced, and now he's struggling. Gives up a walk to Torrey Hunter and a single to J.D. Martinez. Can Turner get out of the jam with 2 out and 2 on in the top of the 8th? Or can the Tigers put on some insurance and assure a Game 2 here in the regional championship? At this rate, it looks like we'll have a Game 2, and if we do, it'll be David Price against Tsuyoshi Wada. No balls and 2 strikes here off the foul ball by Nick Castellanos. Here's the pitch. 4-seamer sails high. But yet and still, Turner a strike away from getting out of the jam. But we've seen 2-out rallies. This could be one of them here. Castellanos keep the party going. 1-2. Drops in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Castellano reaches on what would have been a ball. So Jacob Turner allows 2 base runners, but is still able to close things out. So still 3-0 heading into the bottom of the 8th. We've come to the number 9 spot in the lineup. It's not Jacob Turner, so Turner's day will be done. Here's Junior Lake. He'll be the pinch hitter here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Two-seamer outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Scherzer still trying to hang in there, 110 pitches in. He's only given up 2 hits. And he's still pitching a shutout. Lake slams this one into center field. Davis chasing it down, and he's got it just before the warning track. Davis has been a beast out there. So Max Scherzer, 7 1/3 innings of work. 111 pitches, 5 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. Here's Chris Coughlin resetting the lineup for the 3rd time today. Coughlin is 0 for 3. He reached back in the 6th on a fielder's choice. Four-seamer low, but in the zone for strike 1. Here's the 1-1 from Scherzer. Change up in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Due up next is Baez, and if Baez is able to reach, then Rizzo. And after Rizzo would be Castro. None of the players I mentioned have yet to get a hit off of Max Scherzer, and that includes Coughlin. And that one lined to Kinsler. He went up and got it. Kinsler showing off some hops. Don't be surprised if you see him trying out for the Pistons soon. But in the meantime, that's out number 2. So still hitless. First 4 batters in the lineup are a combined 0 for 13. They've only reached base once. So statistically, you can't expect the offense to come. But it's going to need to soon, or we'll be looking at a game 2 here on the north side. Javier Baez, check swing at a strike on the first pitch from Scherzer. We've only had 1 complete game in the entire tournament. That was by R.A. Dickey. This one hit to Castellanos. Routine out at first. That's 3 up, 3 down. So Scherzer still going strong. We'll see if they'll bring out the closer. If Scherzer will be back soon enough. He's due up third in the next inning. So late pinch hitting for Turner. Turner's day is done, and here is Kyuji Fujikawa. First batter he'll face is the catcher Alex Avila. First pitch in there, a four-seamer for strike one. So Kyuji Fujikawa about his business early on here in the top of the ninth inning. And that ball called by the umpire. People not happy with it. Fujikawa from Kochi, Japan, in the southern part of the country. Throw a four-seamer. 3 balls and 1 strike. So early on, Fujikawa struggling up at the mound. No decisions for him in 3 appearances. He has a ERA of an even 3. And the first batter he faces, he will concede a walk to. So here is Eugenio Suarez. 1 for 3 today. Four-seamer right over the heart of the plate. In there for a strike. Fujikawa made his debut on April Fool's Day of last season. Suarez hits this one down the third base line. So Avila's at second. He'll stop there. And Suarez is on with his second single of the game. As I said before, in Suarez's first at-bat, Brad Ausmus wasn't sure. He's been debating with every game if he should bring in Andrew Romine or if he should keep the hot hand of Eugenio Suarez. And it seems like that decision to keep Suarez in is paying dividends. And here's Victor Martinez going to fill in the pitcher spot. So it seems that Scherzer will not be going for the complete game. Instead, at least for this at-bat with 2 on and none out, the Tigers get another crucial bat that could create some offensive firepower here in the bottom of the lineup. Fujikawa finally throws another strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he is in trouble early. 9 pitches in. He's conceded 2 base runners. And Martinez gets this one to Rizzo. And that's a 3-6-1 double play. Rizzo was able to round it up even though Suarez was in front of him. He got it up base to Castro, and Castro brought it right back to Fujikawa covering first. So with Avila at third, here's Rajay Davis. First pitch in there for a strike. Huge swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes here to Rajai Davis. Tigers look to be down to their last strike of the game. And they'll have to do their job on defense. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the waste pitch from Fujikawa. Davis fouls off the 1-2. And Fujikawa sits down Davis looking. So Ramirez, Turner, and Fujikawa get the job done as they don't give up another run for the Tigers. But can the Cubs pull it off in the bottom of the 9th? We'll find out after this. In comes Joe Nathan to close out this game after Scherzer was subbed out in the top of the 9th. Here's Anthony Rizzo. Going to be first up here in the bottom of the 9th. The Tigers are 3 outs away from forcing a Game 2 here in Chicago. They could very well take Game 2 as well. Fight their way into the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series. But first things first, Nathan throws a ball to Rizzo to start things off. Rizzo gets this one in the air, but Hunter does not have to move. That's out number 1. Oh, it has been a rough tenure for the closer Joe Nathan in Detroit. In the regular season, he's 4-3 with a 5.11 ERA and 24 saves to his name. This one will drop into left field for Starlin Castro. So there's a 1-out single. So the Cubs won't at least go down in 3, but we'll see if they can turn this into something. Luis Valbuena will come up to the plate. He drew a walk his last time up. The time previous, he hit a single. His first at bat, he struck out. First pitch, a 12-6 curve in the dirt. But as said before, it's been a very rough time in Detroit for Joe Nathan, who spent a fair amount of his career with the Twins. He got 4 All-Star appearances there. He got 2 All-Star appearances as a Texas Ranger. He was dominant in all of those places as this one fouls off down the third base line. And then he comes to Detroit and he's struggling. And that's frustrated a lot of Tigers fans, that he was a Tiger killer for so long. He would shut the door on the Tigers so many times. And then comes to Detroit and starts struggling. This one put in play, sailing into right field. Hunter under it. And that will force Castro to retreat back to first, and the Cubs are down to their final out. Joe Nathan has had problems in the media. He's been accused of throwing some players under the bus, made derogatory gestures towards the fans, some of his more difficult starts. But all that can be forgiven if he can get the final out here against Arizmendi Alcantara. First pitch to him, and that one bounced before it even got to the plate. Castro slides into second on what is obviously a wild pitch. That's a wild pitch. 1 ball, no strikes to Arizmendi Alcantara. It's been pretty honestly, in the few pitches that Nathan has thrown, and that's 8 pitches that he's thrown, it's been kind of ugly, but it's gotten the job done. He has 2 outs, and he only needs 1 more. He's 2 strikes away from closing out Arizmendi. Slider outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's now a strike away from closing out Alcantara, and he can get the save here. The 1-2 in the dirt, but not in the dirt enough. Well done by Avila to round up that one. Joe Nathan was credited with the loss in that Cubs game. He was officially considered the one to give up. He's considered the one to give up that lead in the top of the 9th. This one hit weakly, rounded up by Cabrera. They're going to call that a lineout. So that will do it. And we're going to have game 2 here on the north side of Chicago. As the Tigers, ever since that loss to the Cubs, have been fighting their way through, dominating opponents. They do it again here against the Cubs. So the question will be, will things come full circle? After the Tigers were stunned by the Cubs in Detroit, will the Tigers be able to pull out the 2 wins they need to get to the championship series here in Chicago? We'll have to find out, but here's a look at the game summary. That 3-run shot by J.D. Martinez was all they needed to get the win today. So here's a look at the top player of the game, and it's got to be Max Scherzer. 8 innings of just amazing baseball. And honestly, he probably could have stayed in and pitched the 9th if Ausmus didn't choose to switch him out for a position player when it was his turn to bat in the top of the 9th. So there's a look at Scherzer getting the trading card treatment, as he is the top player of the game, and that will do it for this presentation of the Coliseum Baseball Tournament on the Coliseum Sports Network. Be sure to check out simscoliseum.com, as well as the social media channels on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. And of course, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Coliseum Sports Network here on YouTube. So let's play 2. We'll have another one tomorrow night in prime time here in Chicago. The Tigers get the win in the first game of the Eastern Regional Championship Series 3-0. I'm Raymond Sims. Thank you for watching.